yard rushing game at quarterback, and still number one. 78 yards for Jaworski Lane. He's second on the team. 21 carries, 93 yards for McGee. Let's see what the call was.
Illegal formation, offense. There were 5 people in the backfield.
These things have hurt A&M repeatedly today. The penalties, they're not just been penalties, they've been penalties at bad times that have piled up on them. Take a look now at our Dr. Pepper Big 12 update. That Nebraska-Colorado game's coming up here on ABC. Following our game, Colorado can wrap up their division. Iowa State, Kansas, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma Saturday.
Nebraska upsets Colorado. Iowa State back in the mix. If they can beat Kansas, they go to the championship game.
A second down and 12. Looking to pass over the middle, and it will be caught at the 25-yard line. That's not enough for a first down. They thought it might have been intercepted. It's incomplete. Incomplete. As that one got bounced as Carter went diving. Watch him. 7.
Most of the times you got to drive back to the football. He does come back, and the ball's just to the inside. And good job of Texas coming up and Griffin knocking the ball out of his hands.
And there goes A&M again, though, with one of those. They haven't had a ton of penalties, but they just seem to be at the wrong time. McGee's going to have to start working on his accuracy a little bit. He's got plenty of arm, and I know they've been running the ball a lot.
Offense, number 64. Half the distance to the goal. Remains second down.
But when he has a throw like that, that's not that difficult of a throw. It's got to be more in towards the receiver's body.
And the mind gets tired, and you start to have mistakes. You know, illegal procedure, you've got holding, and all of a sudden the depth of that Longhorns defense starts to take its toll in a different kind of way, mentally, on the team.
8 penalties you saw, 78 yards. They are all the way back inside their 10 now, and a second down and 20 for the Aggies. Out of the shotgun, McGee, 2 receivers to each side. Long count here. They couldn't move Texas off the mark. Goes once, gets hit. Sideline, needs a block, gets it to the 20, 25, 30, first down, 40, and driven out of bounds as he gets up to the 45-yard line. Man, he's over 100 yards rushing in this ball game now for the Aggies.
You mentioned Martellus Bennett.
Did you see the box out?
He's the best basketball skills, man. Number 3, Martellus Bennett on the side down here. You're going to see
he boxes out. Oh, that's fantastic. He boxes out Terrell Brown because he turned around too late and he saw him and he just started shuffling down the field. He doesn't need the NBA draft. He wants to come play for the Aggies.
A 34-yard gain on that carry for McGee. Now 128 yards and 22 carries. And obviously a humongous first down. First down and 10. Trying to move it up into Longhorn territory as they trail it 37-29 here in the 4th. Swings it out and launches one over into the sidelines. Incomplete. Didn't have anybody open. Threw it away. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary.
This is an offense for Texas that has gone over 600 yards 3 times this year, and they're playing against, you can't put this into context enough, one of the worst defenses statistically in the entire country. In a rivalry game, emotion, everything else, advantage Texas A&M. They've come to play today more than the University of Texas.
And you know what? We've talked about last several weeks how the Aggies have more talent than what they're doing on the field. I mean, this is a Texas A&M team that you watch the recruiting analysts over here. They say, hey, they got great players on this football team.
It is a second down and 10. McGee, they've got to fight the clock now here in the 4th, as well as this Texas defense, and keep moving the football. McGee on the big slant. It's caught and held onto after a couple of pops were taken by DeQuan Mobley. Mobley's got it. It's a 13-yard gain, and it's going to be a first down.
Mobley, a guy who came from junior college last year. He's actually Reggie McNeil's roommate, and that's how you throw the slant. Whew. Nice hit. Boy, Griffin, you know, they talk a lot about the other defensive backs. We already saw Griffin block that. Remember, did not play defense in high school, but nice throw by the quarterback on time.
Mobley with a couple of receptions here in this game, none bigger than that one. Keeps the drive alive and moves them into Longhorn territory on the 1st and 10. Handoff straight up the middle. I mean, just charging. He is a bull. Jaworski Lane, 14-yard gain. It takes 3 or 4 guys every time to bring him down.
9 in the box, and they still run right up the heart of the Texas defense.
Defensive end is missing out there right now, Vince Welch.
That's right, Gary. Tim Crowder, the junior defensive end for Texas, is out with a lower right leg injury. He will not return, so that knocks down a little bit of that depth on that Texas defensive front.
And that's a big deal when you're going against a 265-pound running back and they're running dead at you. You've got to be able to keep some fresh bodies in there.
Lane has rushed for 92 yards on 14 carries. 1st and 10. Oh, mercy, what a quick pitch. Down to the 20-yard line and turning it back inside. That is Leone again. Brandon Leone, a junior out of Spring, Texas, and an 11-yard gain. Leone, an unknown quantity prior to the injury today to Courtney Lewis. And this is what he has done, given the chance.
Leone has definitely replaced Lewis's speed in the backfield, and they took Stephen McGee out of the equation, made him pitch, and look what Leone does.
But what the white shirts need to do is recognize who's in the backfield. Make adjustments based on personnel, not formation. Number 11, here he's coming right at you. Number 21, they're going to get to the outside.
Leone had played in 2 games with 13 carries prior to today. Handoff, that'll be taken inside the 15-yard line. Hard hit at the 14. Aaron Harris and Michael Griffin moved in and put the shot on.
There's a name we haven't heard you say much today, Gary. Aaron Harris.
The middle linebacker. Now, granted, a lot of things were on the edge earlier in the game. But now that you've got the dead ahead running of Jaworski Lane, number 2 needs to be hiding in there behind right. And those guys, those 300-pounders, and making more plays.
He is their leading solo tackler coming into this game and had 11 tackles for a loss. But he has not had one here in this game. 293 rushing yards for the Aggies. Amazing against this Texas defense. But they need another score here. Again, trying to go straight ahead. And Lane is going to be taken down. There are flags down on the play, so let's see what this is.
It's another formation, I believe.
They've had problems.
Boy, A&M is just, you know, they're playing so well and they're playing so hard. They just need to quit hurting themselves.
Offside. Defense.
Hey.
Number 98.
A break.
5-yard penalty. Replay second down.
He had to be lined up in the neutral zone because nobody moved up there. That's a Rockpo.
There's that neutral zone.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you can see them right over the ball.
A couple of them.
Yeah, you could have picked any of the white helmets.
That is a very big break for the Aggies, because they were going to have a 3rd down long yardage. Instead, they get a 2nd down and short yardage.
Now you've got in the backfield Jaworski Lane and Leone at the same time. So they've tried that time to run the fullback in there, David, to him. Now they'll pull it and they'll run the option.
Number 11 is the man usually on the short yardage situations here. Let's see. They've got Alexander back there and straight ahead, and that's not going to be enough for a 1st down. That's going to bring up a big play here on this drive deep in Longhorn territory. Tomorrow, join
guy. Should have been the guy on that play. Should be the guy on this play. Some type of play action where he has a run-pass option. He's shown that he can get to the edge and has enough speed. You've got the big body in there for Lane. Fake it to him. Let your quarterback try to make a play here.
They are 4 out of 11 in 3rd down conversions. A 3rd down and 2 from the 10-yard line of the Longhorns. The handoff. No, he's got it. Looking to pass. Gets hit. And a fumble. Still loose. Oh, mercy. I think they got it. Texas does. An enormous turnover as Roderick Wright, a Lombardi finalist, came in and knocked that ball away. And the biggest play of the game to this point is this one.
Right, well, you know, great effort by Wright to get to the backfield and to put pressure on the quarterback, caused the fumble. Where's the running of Lane, 265 pounds?
Craig, I like the call. I think at that point, your quarterback, although I think he could have moved him out of the pocket, I like the play action call, but a young quarterback, as he's going through his play fake, needs to know ball security first. But give credit for Roderick Wright not quitting on the play as well.
And a big play. And now the fans up here at A&M for their defense to rise to the occasion. The clock is ticking, 9:42 to go in the game, and they've got to get on the board in a couple of ways here to get this thing tied up or to get the lead. Back in Vince Young. Young in his own 5-yard line. Lost it to the 15. Carried up to the 20. And near that 1st down marker. And out of bounds goes Taylor. Let's check in. Go to New York with John Saunders. National championship game, of course. The team out there in white on the road. Texas hoping they are going to be in it at the Rose Bowl. What a struggle they have had here. A 2nd down and 1. trying to turn the corner near side, got the first down, got to the 40, got up to midfield, turning it back, he went out of bounds. Taylor stepped out of bounds. He picked up the first down, though, and a 20-yard gain before he did so.
You know what Ramon Taylor does? Not only does he make a defense tired, he has the officials out there running all over the field. They had zebras going left and right trying to keep up with him, but there's so much speed. And the A&M defense, we've talked about how many snaps they've been on the field, but it's not just the snaps, it's the amount of yards they're having to run to get to the player.
Yeah, that's what happens in the fourth quarter, because the offensive linemen can just watch. Defensive linemen and all the linebackers, they've got to go pursue, and they'll start to get worn out as the game goes on. Taylor's got 90 yards on 12 carries and 2 TDs. This a first down up to about the 45. That's going to be Young in a 2-yard gain. A heck of a football game here at College Station, the home of the Aggies, as Texas coming in trying to remain undefeated and make their move towards that championship game. Nebraska, Colorado, they're going to be coming up later, with Colorado a chance to wrap it up, their division championship, and a chance to go into the Big 12 championship game against this Texas team. See whether or not that happens. Right now, it's Texas worried about going in there undefeated as they try to continue their run. They've won 17 in a row. This is going to be a 2nd down and 8. Young from the 40. Drops back 5 more. Lofts one all alone. Incomplete at the 15-yard line. David Thomas. And I mean, there was not another color around him but white. Got to make that throw, Craig.
You know, set your feet and make the throw. You know, he bought time with his legs.
But he almost didn't need to buy time. Yeah. The pocket wasn't that bad.
It's almost like he felt like he had a little pressure coming his way, and he threw on his hips, on the heels, and Thomas just couldn't quite come up with it.
Now we'll see what they throw here. As Young knew, he's just not had a good day, even though they've got the lead. 13 out of 22, 162 yards, 1 TD and an interception. Now a 3rd down and 8.
Boy, you get a feeling this is a big one.
He has had only 1 yard rushing on 8 tries. You believe that? Young back again, passing down, looking, trying to scramble, gets hit, gets away, gets hit again, gets away, throws it over the middle, incomplete. Great defensive coverage. Tremendous play by Marquise Carpenter, who leads this team in pass breakups, and he gets another.
Carpenter just jumps on the ball. You know, you see a lot of defensive backs that'll go and they won't make that right angle to it.
And all year long, Carl Torbush has said, we have not made plays when we've been in position when the ball's been in the air. They've made a bunch of them today. Jackson Appel was early on a couple, but at least they're being aggressive, and that time Carpenter very aggressive.
Richard McGee comes on with Marquise Carpenter back. McGee doing the punting, and he gets a very high kick. Carpenter takes it and drops it. There was a fumble on it.
Danny Gore got too close to the return man. The return man's got to be yelling to him, whatever their code is. For whatever reason, it was always Peter when I played. I don't know what your code was. Yeah. But he wasn't calling it, and Danny Gore continued to block and ran into him.
Still no call,
which made him nothing. It looked to me like Texas got it.
They're going down to the bottom of the pile on this one, and they're backing everybody off, and they're going to confer. They're not sure. Texas thinks they've got the football back. If they do, it is Texas. Ryan Palmer, the second big turnover by A&M here in the 4th.
Watch number 4 right here. He's got to get away much sooner than that.
And I think he just distracted the heck out of his teammate.
Exactly. Actually ran into him. It's hard to block, and then the ball comes between the legs of Carpenter.
Well, a couple of great chances here for the Aggies to get back into the ball game, and they have turned it over. And that's one of those that can't happen.
No.
When Texas gets down there on the coverage, Palmer got in there and recovered it. Now they've got great territory. Each team's had 3 turnovers, but 2 very big ones here in the 4th quarter. Now Texas has got a chance for what could be the put-away score. Young on the handoff, and that's going to be a loss as Taylor gets hit by Bullitt for a 4-yard loss.
I think you just have to live with the fact that Ramon Taylor, he's gonna have 4, 5, 6
backwards plays.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he's gonna get around the corner and be gone.
Yeah. Well, Max said that. you know, earlier in the year, they kept telling him, hey, quit trying to do crazy things. Remember against Ohio State, he had the one where he stepped out, stepped in on the kickoff return, and then went 35 yards around everybody. And they finally just said, you know what, you just have to let it happen. He's that type of player.
You look at the numbers on the year, and you would not know you were looking at the Aggie defense that has struggled so mightily. They may have given up 37 points here, but they have really worked a game. This one carried far side 20, not enough for the first down, and out of bounds. One of the few carries we've seen today by Young. Gore on the hit, and let's check in again with John Saunders. John.
Yes, Nebraska never considered Colorado a rivalry. It was the other way around. All
now
of a sudden, Big Red's thinking about him.
Another big third down play. Third down and 3. Young keeps it, looks, gets hit, gets away, gets around the corner, lobs one, incomplete and out of bounds. And the A&M defense has had him scrambling all day, and he had nowhere to go. Now we will get another field goal attempt with 7:55 to go in the fourth.
And I think A&M needs to try to do something to block this kick. Do some kind of twist in the middle. Just a straight ahead rush I don't think is going to get it done. Pino has been so accurate. If he kicks this with the way the momentum feels right now, I just think he needs something big to happen.
He missed one extra point today, right?
Yes. This is going to be one he's made from 41. This one's 33. A&M needs the rush. 33-yard field goal attempt that would extend this lead for Texas. It is up, and it is no good. Hang on. They cannot seem to put this game away. The Aggie fans know it. So do the Aggies down there in pads. This one's off. It remains 37-29. But if they've got the football, Stephen McGee in at quarterback with the receivers split each way. And he'll keep Jaworski Lane in the backfield and hand it off to him. Lane up to the 30. He's going to have a first down. That'll stop the clock. That's important. An 11-yard gain.
Texas is getting worn out.
They have to be, Ed.
Yeah.
I mean, there are 8 guys up there around the ball.
And they're just getting swamped. Courtney Lewis not in the game, so they've gone to the true freshman. Went to the same high school as Reggie McNeil, Lufkin High School, and this big fella is just wearing out the Longhorns.
17 carries and 106 yards, averaging 6.2 for Jaworski Lane. He has been a moving concern along with Stephen McGee, the quarterback, with 124 yards rushing for McGee. McGee out of the shotgun, 3 receivers to the left side this time. Will they try for a long bomb on one of these? Not this time. Lane spins around. He's going to be thrown for a loss as Bavino moved in, the redshirt freshman on that weak side linebacker position. Takes him down. More importantly, clock keeps running.
At some point, they're going to have to go to that play action.
It will.
Listen, they're having success, which gives you all the more reason.
Absolutely. Before you have to throw the football, before you have to step back in the pocket.
Be one play ahead of that. And McGee has settled in a little bit. He was not very good early with his accuracy. He's thrown a couple of nice little slants. An easy, nice throw is up top to fade to Carter.
7 out of 19. 1 interception in the passing department for McGee today. McGee fakes. Big rush. He gets nailed. There's a fumble. That's going to be picked up all the way back inside the 10-yard line as Michael Huff put the hit on. So the Texas defense rises to the occasion. It'll be the 4th sack of the day.
And I really like the call by Gene Chisholm. He has not blitzed much, even with his linebackers, and that was a safety blitz that he brought, and McGee had no idea it was coming from the blind side.
And we just talked about, the fact that you need to throw the ball when they're not expecting you to throw the football. Go ahead and take advantage of a good, solid running game.
And now you have to think field position. If you're A&M, you're still in the ball game. Plenty of time left. If your defense goes out now, I think you want to try to get this out 20, 25-yard line with some type of draw or screen, so you're punting with some field position.
They will come. A lot to cheer about here today for both sets of fans on hand as Texas trying to go 11-0. The Aggies have done a magnificent job against a team that has outscored the opposition 501 to 143 this year. They are outscoring the Aggies right now, but it has not been easy. All right, 3rd and 31. Big rush. Gets hit. Incomplete. You knew he was going to have to drop back. Texas came with it. It'll be an incomplete pass. Tim Crowder, who came out of the game earlier, came back in and just put the hit on.
Yeah, he looked like he was just fine. He beat the left tackle right from the get-go.
And McGee limping off a little bit after that hit.
I bet he never limped off his front yard when he was 5, 6 years old. Remember that? I mean, tackling himself.
Said earlier he dreamed of this game and used to go out there in the backyard and play every position for both teams.
Tim Crowder's a little bigger than himself, though.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, here's a dangerous punt. That's going to have to
Swinging
come
gate
from the end zone here.
That's been the problem area.
Texas has only one back, Aaron Ross. There's the charge. There's the kick. Ross. And that one's going to take a Texas bounce and go out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. So great field position. The clock running down. Texas on top, 37-29. That one just a 22-yard punt. Obviously a Texas fan, and as you read that sign, let me tell you, right now she's got a better chance than Daddy does.
Yeah.
She cute or what?
I think she made the sign, and the dad said, wait, give that to me.
That's right.
What a young lady.
John Bianco, SID at Texas. Alan Cannon, the Texas A&M SID. We thank them for all of their help, especially during the holidays when it can be a little bit tough. Great field position to the 30, 25. Not enough for a first down, but Taylor is having a tremendous day. Gets some big yardage on that when he gets a.
You can't be a national championship type team without all 3 phases, and that kind of pressure is usually what gets a team like A&M.
A&M fans, 86,617, the 4th largest crowd ever here at A&M. They're still in it to the 20-yard line. That's going to be enough for a first down at Taylor right now. Just a tremendous effort in this game. Sunday night, 8:30 Eastern, ESPN.
No hurry whatsoever. Let this clock melt. You've got the ball down on the 16-yard line. Eat up as much of this 440 as you can.
Taylor's got 102 yards, 15 carries, and 2 touchdowns in this game. And he stays in that backfield. And there go the flags. We'll get a legal procedure call coming up on this one.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 87. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
And while they move the football, we'll go to New York and check in with John. Big rivalry games underway, and LSU will be 10-1, obviously, with a victory coming up in that one if they can get it over Arkansas. A first down and 15 after the penalty. Straight ahead handoff to about the 19-yard line. That is Selvin Young, who has come on to play here in the second half after not appearing in the first half in the backfield.
That's those fresh legs that usually come in and get you in the 4th quarter, and it's a Texas team that's so deep. I think that's really probably been the number 1 obstacle for the Aggies today.
Yeah, and Jamal Charles, he hasn't played since that fumble. And he's healthy, but they've kept him out, and it's the depth that allows that to happen. He's probably the most talented pure running back they have, but they say, listen, in a game like this, you can't put the ball on the turf, so we'll go with Taylor and Young.
Young had 77 yards and 2 touchdowns in a game against Texas Tech earlier this season. It's not as though he can't play this game, but they got 4 players they can rotate into that running back position. Vince Young out of the shotgun, who hasn't carried much, tries to go the corner, and he's going to be thrown for a loss. Out of bounds back at the 24-yard line as Justin Warren, the linebacker, took him out. Our Pacific Life game summer.
Greg, you and I have a vote in the Heisman Trophy race. Now, we don't have to turn them in until the 12th. We can do it online. Not much of an answer to Reggie Bush's Saturday night against Fresno State so far by Vince Young.
And we both were in the same boat going in prior to last week when Reggie Bush got off. I mean, all of a sudden he got our attention. We were wanting to see something here in this game.
Answer.
And I don't think Vince Young has answered it today. And it's not been a Vince Young game.
No, not at all.
Especially the running department. I mean, that remains a pretty incredible number, as he's had 3, he's struggled to get to plus yardage in this game. 10 carries and 7 yards. He's going to add a little bit to it right here, though. 15, not enough for a first down. He'll be taken down at the 12-yard line by Danny Gore, but he will get a 12-yard gain. He is used, obviously, to rushing the football. He averages 77 yards a game rushing.
You think maybe the pressure of the game. Now, he's going to say all the right things, that we weren't thinking about it and we're going to win the game.
I don't think there's any question.
Just want to try for it again. 1 out of 2 today in the field goal department. Aggies on the field trying to get their fans roaring here. Pino made one at 41, missed one at 33. This is going to be a 29-yard field goal attempt, and it's important for Texas. Pino, it's up and it's good. A line drive kick that he puts through for a very big 3 points. 40 on the board, 40 to 29.
Well, he snap hooked that. Ooh. If that was 5 yards further, he's got an OB and looking for a water hazard or something. He snapped that one.
That's the 3 of us off the tee box right here.
Snap.
I've done this quickly.
Boy, Nordgren did an excellent job getting that ball down. That ball came back wobbly.
Haven't you had the feeling, though, that the Aggies throughout this game has been like a cat hanging onto the roof, just hanging around and hanging on?
Just scratching it down, and A&M's done a tremendous job of doing that. But it's not going to be enough by the looks of it. Time permitting, we'll have the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report. John and Aaron standing by, the analysis and highlights from the matchups that have gone on here on this busy day. And we want to say hello to Albert Welch, Fort Worth, Texas. We wish him well. Albert, thanks for the hospitality. And I've never met a gal who's 100 years old, or anybody else for that matter, but Nanny Hall, I had Thanksgiving with today. She turned 100 this month. Sharpest attack from Oklahoma. And she's my #1 fan.
Wow,
now.
that's great.
So to both Albert and Nanny, thanks for everything, and glad you're enjoying the football game there in Fort Worth. All right, this is going to have to be sprint time now for A&M. Left foot puts that one back at the goal line. Need position. Carter will get it out to the 24, 23, 24-yard line where the Aggies will take over.
Well, they could use some kind of big play, and as we take a look at our Chrysler
Offense has started that worst on the 40-yard line. That's where they've been, and A&M's been just the other way, deep in their own territory. Looking for flat passes. That one's going to be knocked down, deflected away by Wright. Roderick Wright knocked that one down, stopping the clock.
That's one of the plays that McGee will look at in the offseason and look for the passing lane.
Yep.
You know, you're going to see the big body up there, and the offensive lineman's like, man, hey, I can hit him, but, you know, try to find a little bit of lane there.
Well, and there's also, remember, this is the first time going into a game that McGee has worked with the first team. And even McNeil was trying to practice, so this 2-minute drill with the first team is totally different for him than he's been doing all season with the second unit.
McGee is 7 out of 21, 77 yards and an interception in this ball game. As they have it, a 2nd down and 10, 2:12 left to go. Just gets it in under the play clock. Big rush put on, completes it, trying to get out of bounds, and it did at the 29-yard line. 7-yard gain. Let's get out of Vince Welch. Vince.
Thank you, Gio.
He's a senior, 6'5", 315-pounder out there who's been involved in a number of plays. Off the option, it'll go wide. It won't be enough for a first down. In fact, there'll be a loss. Michael Huff came up and put the hit on as Leone tried to turn the corner.
Well, you need 2 scores. You got to throw it down the field.
Well,
I know the options.
They've been trying to go back there in the pocket, and in the pocket he's getting drilled.
Right.
You know.
Well, then run the play action. I mean, you know, you get out on the edge, and of course, Texas A&M now having to go for it on 4th down.
Clock continues to run here, and rushing wise today, A&M still with the advantage. 279 yards. Texas is 183. The only time this season that Texas has been outrushed in a football game, and still it looks like they're going to put it away with that 40-29 lead. 4th down and 5. McGee looking to the flats. It's completed. It's not enough for the first down, and the football will be turned over to Texas. Bennett made the catch, but Terrell Brown made sure he didn't go anywhere. There's Brown who put the hit on, and that should be enough for Mac Brown to continue the streak for the Longhorns.
Said it all week long. At this stage of the game, they are in the playoffs. This is like the NFL. They're in the first game, then they go to the conference championship, which would be the conference championship in the NFL, and then on to the Rose/Super Bowl.
Just win. Keep winning. That's all he was concerned about. And for Texas A&M, this game here, this really got him up off the floor. I mean, the whole institution, the fans, everybody was really down about this. This will put a taste in their mouth of hope for the next season.
And there was a push amongst the faithful to not show up today. Almost like a mini boycott. I'm glad they didn't. The place was packed, looked great. But I agree, this gives them something, especially with McGee at quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
This young man, I think, is going to have a great career at A&M.
And A&M's got a schedule next year highly favorable. They've got 4 softies, if you will, on their schedule in non-conference games that they're going to play that really should be wins, easy wins for them, and a quarterback who looks like he's going to be able to take it over, so they got a chance to be back bowl eligible again next year. Today, Chevrolet players of the game: Stephen McGee for the Aggies and Ramonce Taylor for the Longhorns. There are the numbers. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each university's general scholarship fund. Taylor with 2 TDs in this ball game, and he has proven to be a clutch player in tough games. Sometimes he gets unnoticed overall in the big picture, but in tough games, Taylor has had big yardage and big touchdowns. And he's been unstoppable today. He's been the grinded out guy. And the fans and the band for the Texas Longhorns, something to celebrate today.
You know what? When we saw Vincent Young on the sidelines a while ago, and he looked kind of like you could tell he wasn't right. Okay. Matt Leinart, a few weeks ago, remember when he said I wasn't having fun out there and all that stuff?
After the Notre Dame game, he said that. Yep.
And you know, of course, Aaron Taylor, my buddy in New York, he tried to expand that into where the whole team wasn't having fun, and I've ribbed him about it. But maybe Young feels the pressure of
too
Matt
much.
Leinart.
Timeout being cut down here as Mac Brown just wants this over with. It'll be the 18th in a row for his team. Big 12 championship upsets.
This is not a gimme. The history of this conference championship has been, it doesn't matter. And unranked Texas, their first championship for this conference out of the gate, knocking off Nebraska. I don't think anybody's forgotten that. Of course, Colorado beating Texas, Kansas State. The year that they beat Oklahoma, I saw Oklahoma that year. I thought they might be the best team ever in college football, and they got waxed. It wasn't even close.
Well, how about Mac Brown? He gets to enjoy this just for a little bit, and then he's got to go get everybody focused up for that Big 12 championship game.
He'd rather be doing that than not, though, right?
I got to tell you, though, as poorly as they played at times this week with the win, he's going to get his players focused.
It may be a blessing.
I bet you there's going to be more chewing going on in the locker room after this game than there will be attaboys.
He's had a tremendous run. They're going to go back to the bowl again. This one will be taken down, and a flag goes down as well as it gets a little rough in the middle down there. When Texas had their class of 2002 come in, many experts said it was one of the greatest recruiting classes that they or anyone else had ever had. With a victory here today, that class of 2002 for Texas is going to go 43-6. 43-6.
Dead ball. The man over the middle of the center hit the ball. Going to be a procedure, 5 yards, still third down.
And their quarterback, Vince Young, part of that class with a victory today, is 28-2 as a starter.
And passes Bobby Lane, a great quarterback from Texas, who won 27 games as a starting quarterback for the Longhorns, and now the winningest quarterback ever as just a junior is Vincent Young.
How about the referee, Randy Crystal? Does he not have the perfect draw for this ball game here today in Texas?
We're going to place the ball on the 18-inch line.
He hit the ball.
Clock is running. Mac Brown over there. This team now, the only Division I team with 10 or more wins in the last 5 years. He's going to be a little damp when we try and catch up with him after the football game today, as his team will go 11-0. Finish out the regular season undefeated, go to the championship game for the Big 12, and the 4th largest crowd ever here for A&M, applauding the effort of their team and that of undefeated Texas as Texas wins it 40-29. The 18-game win streak extended here today, and the Longhorns still looking for that shot at the Rose Bowl and a national championship. Young went 13 for 24, 162 yards with a touchdown, 1 interception. He rushed for only 19 yards on 11 carries today. The A&M defense credited with being a big part of that. So that's one of the worst rushing days he's ever had.
And it's all about team, though. You and I both agree that Reggie Bush now goes a little bit ahead in that Heisman race, but they'll take the win. They're on the path, and it's a freight train headed for the Rose Bowl.
So they will celebrate it as Vince Young gets the victory, and more great football coming your way. 40-29 our final here. You'll see more of Mac Brown coming up during the halftime of our football game to follow. For Ed Cunningham, Craig James, Vince Welch, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks so much for joining us here at College Station. Coming up next, Nebraska battles Oklahoma, Colorado rather, the second half of the college football doubleheader and a big game there. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports Championship Television. Thanks for being with us. Have a great weekend, everybody. Texas wins it, undefeated.